opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Hello and welcome to
Dave
and Mackie's shiny side out on WZZR, coming to you from Australia for Revolution Radio on revolution.radio. And no music today because it's daylight savings, which really doesn't do well.
Double bumper show.
Ever. Never ever does it do well. It just doesn't work. Honestly, okay, I'll write about that later. This is show number 626. 620 and 600. That's just crazy, right? That's a lot of shows. I mean, that's just what? You can catch us on the air, on the line, and on your smart device. So grab it up to listen anywhere. Oh, listen at home on a gray stable of digital radio. More importantly, though, this is listener-funded radio. So if you can, please donate. If you cannot, hey, I dig it. Dave digs it. The station digs it. We're all digging for you. But tell people about the station. Maybe one of those people can donate. That'd be good. That'd be awesome. Because no one else is. No government organization or non-government organization or anyone else for that matter supports the station but you.
Not even the Illuminati.
Not even the Illuminati, yeah? Quickly, spit over your left shoulder and make the sign of the cross 5 times in a clockwise direction. Thusly! Very good. We're safe now again. Thanks, Dave. What? If you missed Solange's show, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, life is busy, you know, but you can catch her in the archives, which are also free. Free. Price is right. Just go in there. Another reason to donate. And today, her special guest was Zoe B. Greystone, Miss B, and Taleb Kearns, hosts of Omnum Gatherum, a kaleidoscope of discussion, which airs each Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And it was an open topic. And if you don't know her, you should. Solaris is, I like her a lot. She's very knowledgeable. She's a very nice person. You see, that's the thing. Just know a lot. She's a nice person. We had many a chat, and she is quality. She's good people. All right, if you know what that means, she's good people. All right.
It's a Seinfeld reference, isn't it?
Not quite.
Okay. All right.
I'll talk about that in a second.
After the show, yeah.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast, and for Dave.
For me, it's the Bundjalung.
Thank you, sir. Of course, it still is. And for me here, of course, the Dark People. It's been quite warm today here in Hemel Way, and we'd like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. Thank you very much. Ivy. What? Smart devices. What? Online. Calls.
Yeah.
The Illuminati. Illuminati.
Do you want to tell people?
Ivy. Yeah, well, we were approached by, I think, the Rothschild. What's his name? Something
so
Rothschild.
Andy Paris D. Rothschild.
Yes.
Messaged me today. Out of everyone in the whole planet that's on Facebook, messaged me and said, "Hail the light. I call Grandmaster Andy Paris de Rothschild from New York. Are you interested in joining the Great Illuminati Brotherhood?" And I said, "Well, I've heard of it, but never thought I would make the cut." I'm honest. I'll tell you what I actually replied. I said, "I would expect perfect grammar from you." Because it's in it, I'm called. It's just I'm called. It's very funny. Are you interested? They wouldn't stop. They wouldn't let up. And I said, well, curious, right? Curious. And then there was a great delay, and I thought, well, I'll answer yes. That's what I'll do. Now, not for 1 second do I think this is real. I'm going to play along, see what they say, and see what happens. And I said, what's involved? What is involved? I said, And they said, well, after joining our organization, your, as in you and our, first benefits will be 5 million with a house and a car and $5 million monthly. Wow. Just
That's
out of the blue.
Pretty sweet. Hello.
All right. I said,
Retirement.
yeah, all right. So you pegged my interest. I'd get up for that much. That's fine.
Your interest.
You picked it. And I said, what are the rules of the organisation? Because I want to know straight away. Give me their contract, right? Sure, I'll read them. And he just says, message me on WhatsApp. And so, okay, there's red flag number 3. So number 1 was contacted by a random person. Not unusual for me, but that's fine. Number 2 was the extraordinary amount. And then number 3 is a WhatsApp thing. And talking about message, you see, message me now on WhatsApp, and then he says message him for more information. Who? Him? I don't know who. Is that the same person? So I went, why did you change the person from me to him? Because I want to give these people no time to harass somebody else. And so
you're a mensch. You're a real mensch. You know that?
So the whole time I'm Googling the phone number that they've given me as their WhatsApp account name, and I discover it's Ethiopian. So I go, why do you have an Ethiopian mobile number? Because they say they're from New York. Yes. And then it's like, do you want my state number? What the hell is a state? Is that like a stateroom? Are you on a ship? I'm thinking. I go, what state? Maybe he's inebriated. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. And then I said, I can't read the text. Said something about the application. Oh, that's right. It's like, send the application to me and I'll sign it. For that kind of money, I don't care what I'm doing. And it's like, also, send a no-limit platinum Visa card with 5 million monthly. That's just solves all the problems. I've already solved the problem. So they said, I just saved you $5 million. That's what I said to the scammer. Less the cost, of course, of the person arriving at my address. I'm realistic, you know. I want to explain it to them, what I've just done for them, and see, well, if they're going to throw...
You're a good person.
Yeah, if they're going to throw that much money at me, I'll play along and I'll help, right? And I said, right? I said, I'd be honoured to join, because that would be prestigious if it were real, but it's not, sadly. I asked that my co-host is also invited to join. Thinking of you, buddy. That's what I'm doing.
What are you? You're good people, huh? You're a good guy. You're a bloke. You're a real bloke.
So a long time has passed and I don't get any reply, and I thought, well, I'll send another thing, and I'll say, like, can I invite him after I'm a member? And then, well, I wouldn't invite anyone else unless the rules allow it. Do they or not? And then he starts again. Yes, dear brother, you can invite. Where are you located? Now, this is where the danger zone starts, right? Because at the moment, they've got none of my detail. And I just go, Australia! And I was hoping to expand upon that, saying, you know, the fake country where we're all crisis actors.
Actually, I'm the Denver airport. Shh.
We're under I should have written that. And then he gives me a one like a +1 number, which is US, and it happens to be a New York number. But when I Google that, I've got, I think, the 5th lot of red flags. And he said it's the Grandmaster, blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh, okay, sure, whatever.
Grandmaster Tarkin.
He wasn't a good guy. Right, so I go, I said, he goes, what do you do for a living? And I said, I lost my job because I'm taking care of my frail father, and which is the truth. Right. And then I'm thinking, I'm going to ask him some more questions before he throws me off to this other dude, right? To his boss. I say, explain why you have chosen me. And he doesn't. He just goes, dear brother, my organisation can choose anyone. We are here for you guys. For who? I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Dear brother, we need people like you in our organization. You don't know me. That's the sixth one. Red flag. Clearly you don't know. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I'm still maybe iffy on this, right? And I go, I'm still wondering why, because he didn't answer the question. He goes, don't be scared. Uh-oh. Isn't that what the big dude in the jail says? Right before
just let it happen.
You.
Just let it happen. Just close your eyes.
That's right. Relax, right?
Oh, no.
You'll just feel a little prick now.
Hey.
And then he says, have you messaged the Grandmaster yet? Right? And I go, no, not yet, and blah, blah, blah. He's going to help you out times wait for nobody. For nobody. They're separate words. So then I send him a screenshot, as actually a link to the American website, which did a piece on the scam. And the number is involved in a scam pretending to be an American government, New York State thing, and it's a huge scam, and you don't want to give anyone anything, right? And if you get a call from them, they're pretending to be the Inspector General. It's a scammer's number, and what are you going to do, right? And so the last little bit here is, well, after I sent that link to him, he goes, what are you implying? Do you think I'm here to defraud you? I said, the article warns of a scam, right? And it's like, dear brother, I'm here to help you and not defraud you.
Oh, okay then.
No, that's I'm convinced. I'm done. Thank you for your honesty. Message Grandmaster, he's going to help you out. Trust me. Okay, so everyone who says trust me, or any government or any official that all says trust me, I don't trust them straight away. Message him now, okay, and give me feedback, okay. Have you messaged him? Send him a message, and blah, blah, blah. He's in a meeting, blah, blah. Anyway, I didn't. What I did instead was ensure that I had that completely blocked. I did jump into WhatsApp, and I did check the number, and I did message it, and all the poor grammar, not a chance. I've already got MFA on all of my accounts. No one's going to steal my account, doesn't matter where you are. And I just went, wow, could you imagine? Could you imagine what they could thieve from you?
But it doesn't end there, and this is the kicker. Right?
Oh, because he said, what's your address, your name and address, and your birth date?
Yeah, of course.
That.
No. Yeah, go on.
No, you're not going to get that. I don't care who you are, you're not going to get that.
No, you get my real birthday, which is the 32nd of October, 2058. What? It's not? Prove me wrong.
Well,
the
coming
thing
up.
Is,
that's good.
I had a friend request yesterday, or last night, I should say, from 16 hours ago. In fact, I'm looking at it now. 16 hours ago, last night, from Andy Paris to Rothschild. Okay,
same person
on Facebook. So I look at that person, never heard of them. I'm thinking of Rothschild. That is interesting. Maybe my ship has come home. maybe the truckloads of cash are just on their way now. 2 Olympic pools full of gold.
That's almost all the gold on the planet.
All the planet's gold, my friend. That's what I want. Now I have. So I look at it. Oh, a mutual friend. How interesting. So I go in there. The mutual friend is my beloved co-host, Dave. So I'm thinking, Dave, hey, Dave, did the Rothschilds contact you? Is that what happened here? So I go and look at the name. I look him up, see if he's anywhere in the genealogy.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Is he something?
In the genealogy of the Rothschilds family, which is completely public, not a peep.
Well, for the most part, it is, right? So he's not anywhere, right? I mean, the page itself, the Facebook page, has got a whole bunch of pictures of the Rothschilds and in a beautiful room that could have been in Versailles and all that, right?
Could have been anywhere, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Dave is already his friend. Now, Dave hasn't actually accepted a friend request.
No, not at all.
And that's the kicker here, right? Now, I haven't either, so I shouldn't show up as one of his friends, but that's just a bit odd. I mean, that might be the first stage of the attack again, because if he's a Facebook friend, he can see all your stuff, right?
That's correct.
That's the thing.
Well, I never clicked on it.
Yeah,
at all.
but the thing is, he did honor your request to reach out to me.
Oddly, but he doesn't know that you're my co-host. I didn't mention it by name or anything.
But see, this is the thing, and
Yeah.
this is where it gets a bit spooky as far as I'm concerned. That's exactly right. So I'm not going to accept it. However, if you hear that Dave and I stopped broadcasting, just look for Andy Paris the Rothschild, and you might find our remains somewhere.
Well, I didn't kill myself, and I don't have any of that kind of money. So
Eskimos built a very interesting igloo, right? It melts a little on the inside, which insulates it even further, right? It's a really very laborious process. On the outside, it could be like -20, -30, -50. Inside, it's a balmy, it could be 40, 50, even 60 degrees, right?
nice.
No, that's Fahrenheit.
Still good.
But even the Eskimos know that Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay? I just want to put that out there.
That was that. You had me all the way through that. Then that's great.
Hey?
Yeah. Even without social media or cell phones at all, no internet. Yeah, even they knew. Yeah,
They knew it. Epstein, who now? Yeah, no, he didn't. And you know what's funny? I read this article. Sorry to be jumping a little bit. I read this article on the election, which is important, I think. And what they said is, I actually made it a Facebook comment. What they said is, even if Donald Trump were to, if he were to be convicted on state charges, which he can't pardon himself from, right? Federal charges, yes, but even if he were convicted and set in a state prison, he could still be president of the United States.
Because it doesn't invalidate him.
No, so you could. I mean, this is. I mean, and what would they say? Oh yeah, this is the last bit they said here. We are in truly unprecedented territory, and even the best legal brains in the country are scratching their heads. Now, he could be president while being an inmate. Think about that for a second. I mean, the Secret Service would have to take over the prison. I mean, it'd be a fairly easy prison sentence for him, if you think about it, I guess. But that's just insane. This is the level of insanity we have now reached. Okay? And I'm not talking, to make hot air, because about 100 years ago, a convicted felon, right, actually managed to get 1 million votes from behind bars. And back then, 1 million votes was quite a bit. So you could be behind bars, but you can still run with the election. What?
That's crazy.
But that's the thing, right? And the thing is this: the only way you can prosecute a sitting president, the only way, there's no other way in America, is if he's impeached by Congress. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing else.
They tried twice and failed because
They
they had
did?
nothing. Yeah.
They did. And now, I mean, so the federal charges, if he is convicted, he might be able to pardon himself. Great. Okay. State charges, he doesn't have that power as president, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like I said, that raises the scenario it's like, of a president behind bars. I mean, he's his own political prisoner. It's like, what?
That's hilarious.
Honestly, now
It's
I'm
new ground,
kind of
new ground.
I'm wanting him to be convicted on state charges and be put in prison just to see that.
To see how it plays out. Yeah. You know, Becky, the memes are flying with this one, and that there's aliens in their spaceship eating popcorn watching this election. That's just there's some emergency. Never mind, I'm watching this, and then they all lean in. It's very funny. I this week also we saw the release of the Biden propaganda machine for his re-election, even though no one wants him to run again at all. Not even his own party wants him to run. But damn it, I'm gonna run. I'm the most qualified. No, you're just the oldest, right? Because you've both been a president now for a term, so you're both as equally qualified, I would say. It's what's funny, Mackie, when you hear the candidates in the run-up and they say, I'm the most qualified. Have you ever been president before? I don't remember you. Yeah. Any school kids in here can recite all the presidents? Do you know this guy? So the first thing I would say, Biden in the campaign for president, let's finish the job video that he's put out, he must have had his injections before that video. I'm only saying because he it's all fixed in post, right? Everything, all the gaffes, there weren't gaffes.
Did you remove the strings?
Well, who knows?
I'm kidding.
Who knows what they did? But there's one piece there where he seems to be talking, but it could be a deep fake of himself on his own video. It just could. And they've got so many clips of him at all different ages, not just the current age. And they've got these filters on him and makes him kind of look younger. And I'm thinking, man, that kind of looks like you've deep faked yourself in some of the instances in there. Because when you hear him now, he gets in this anger rant and then completely loses what he was doing. I saw Mitch McConnell step down finally, which is good. That was not teleprompter freeze, but he would just go into a freeze for 30 seconds. Remember that fellow?
I do.
Is that McConnell?
Yeah.
Mackie? Yeah. So he's stepped down, but now there's some controversy in his family that I saw something come up like the next week. As soon as he stepped down, suddenly all this stuff came out. So I watched a Megyn Kelly piece on the video launch of Joe Biden's thing, and she really went to town. I have a secret crush on Megyn Kelly. I don't know why, but I'm attracted to her tremendously.
It's not so secret anymore, Dave.
Well,
Just
that's
let me
true.
know.
I know, but I can't help it, right? I just don't know. I love my wife, right, and my family. I'm never getting a hall pass for Megyn Kelly, and she's married. But it doesn't matter. I think she's pretty nice. But anyway, I don't like all her opinions, but I have to say something that she was saying here in this video. He's still talking about the border not being his problem. He wants to fix the border.
Okay.
You just can. Right. There's presidential orders where you can just do whatever you want. You can just do whatever you want.
Right.
You can fix it. And remember, he reversed all of Trump's stuff so he could start clean. Anything Trump had done, he just backed it out. And so, we're going to stop building the wall. Because who needs a wall? And then suddenly there's all these people coming through. And it's like, that's not my problem. Not my problem. Anyway, so it kind of annoyed me that he just forgot to mention all of the bad things that everyone is talking about. But he made it all about, he did make it about colour, that colour loves him, whichever colour, it doesn't matter. Everybody loves Joe Biden, and everybody knows he can finish the job. So I'm not saying I believe anything, because I don't really care who truly gets in. I know the entertainment factor was actually a facepalm factor for having Biden in, and I'd like to see what happens next. I really thought that they were going to pull him from the running and put someone else in. Not Kamala Harris. I don't think she tests well with the audience, but not anymore.
She just screwed it up.
She kind of came back a little and then dropped back off again. So it's kind of a shame. And Mackie, you make this point, and it just keeps echoing. With 350 million, whatever, people, these are the two best?
Yeah, I know.
What?
Exactly right.
Are all the other ones busy?
Is
it a scheduling issue?
Hair. I'm getting my collagen injection. No, it's
I have to
look,
wash my hair.
in countries that are much poorer, right, and have smaller populations, you find much better politicians. In fact, in America, look, one of the issues is the size of the United States. It's very, very large, right? It's big. 300 million people. It's also fairly large from a landmass perspective, but it has another problem, which is a de facto two-party system. It's not really a two-party system because there's no actual opposition, as it were.
There's always a third party that gets some votes.
Well, that's right. But the opposition doesn't really work like it does here. And in fact,
oh no, because the opposition in Australian Parliament stands up to counter everything that's going on in Parliament.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a good idea or bad idea, they'll just be against it. Oh, we against it! I'm not for it, I'm against it! And
they're taking their jibs.
And the funny thing is, the president is not necessarily attached to the party. In Australia, it's different. Great Britain is different. You can vote for a president that has no party attachments, right? You could. Nobody ever does because it's money, right? That's really where the crux here is. Yeah. That's why you have this de facto two-party thing. But you could rule without opposition, because you could hold the majority in Congress and you could hold the majority in the Senate. That has happened, right? Or the opposite could be true. The president wins the election but doesn't hold the majority in either house, so most of the policies don't go through unless they come through as presidential decrees. But how many presidential decrees can you put through before people go, hey, come on, man. Wait, what happened to the democratic process? Seriously.
All of them. Remember, Obama had written the most in history. The cumulative total.
I was just thinking of Mr. Obama there. But yeah, you're right. So, but okay, so you have that.
There are still rumors, Becky, that Obama's still in power. So I'm not saying I support them. I'm just saying there are rumors that use that phrase.
So, okay, everybody, I'm going to disabuse you of your illusions, okay? So, it's completely irrelevant who's in power.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
What matters is that you understand the game that's being played, which is, in fact, the parasites, the great unseen parasites, the people that you never see. This is important. The people that don't make it in the press, they don't have any affairs, they don't have any scandals, and even if there were, they would never make it to the press. And if anything negative ever came out, anybody who knew about it would have an unfortunate accident. Okay, so these are the people that are actually in power. And it's not that many of them, and they don't have absolute power, but they have a lot of power. And it's very hard for you to stand against it, right? Everything else is just a puppet show, including the presidents and prime ministers, whatever. It does matter, though, for the puppet show. So if you follow the puppet show avidly, like Dave and I do, we like the puppet show. It's entertaining. The same reason I used to watch Fox News and Bill O'Reilly. I love Bill O'Reilly. No, really, I never laughed so hard watching anything else. He was the best. He was a parody of himself.
It was an echo chamber of one.
It was astounding.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember how he was dressing down the people that were questioning the official 9/11 narrative. And they go, wow, this is something else entirely. But he's been disgraced since, I think. He had some misconduct or some such against him, and he had a fairly public fall from grace, if I remember correctly. But I loved him. But the thing is this, right? We need to change everything. The entire system has to be changed. We have to start from scratch. We have to reset the table. We have to get rid of the parasites, which in and of itself is, of course, the biggest problem. Right? We need to do that, but we can. Yes, of course, you can. But that's really what we need to do. In the meantime, we are being distracted with things like Biden and Trump running for president and asking the question, well, with 300 million people, are these really the best two candidates you can come up with? The answer is, of course not. But these are the ones that will distract you the most. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's gold.
How else do you expect us to exchange long strand proteins, right?
Yeah, if you can think of a better way, I'd like to hear it.
The voters are concerned. Yeah.
Oh, it's gold. Okay,
And that's what we're looking at. Look, yes, the puppet show is amazing, and it's entertaining. And for what it is, and for what it's worth, you still have to understand that it doesn't matter who's in the seat itself. There's still an entire, number of buildings populated with people that work for the government that don't change and aren't voted for.
Mm.
So there's advisors out the wazoo. And you have, what are they called, Becky, the other ones? The ones that influence in the halls? Lobbyists.
So, you mean the lobbyists? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got big business or corporate that say, you know what, I can't work under these restrictions. What are you, all mad? We need lower taxes. And we need to be able to pollute as much as we want. Come on, man. Let's talk.
But you can't just buy your carbon credits. I mean, come on, we met you halfway. We can't hold your cottage industry for useless people to make more money. Come on. Yeah, true enough.
So Biden's has tightened up the carbon emissions of motor vehicle sales. So not the sale of the vehicle, the carbon emission, but the carbon emissions of the vehicles that you're allowed to sell in time frames going forward in the future. And we're seeing the same kind of constraints being discussed here. Also, nuclear power in Australia. They're now got a group together to talk about it. It'll take 10 years to stand it up. And I watched a report from the bush, from the farm side, the Nationals, and they're talking about carbon neutrality, except for us. Just ignore that we exist and you can go about your business. Because, big mining and big farming is no way to eliminate you can't use EVs out there, trust me. It's not going to work. And they keep forgetting. I just keep wanting someone to pick up our video where we talked about the sequestering of carbon in Australia because of all the bushland we have and how much we pollute knowingly, and then how much the fires contribute. And it's about half. So half and half, and now we just topple over the balance of what we can sequester in this country. So if we just put the fires out, this is a video we put the fires out, and we're going to be, a carbon sink, right? We could sell credits and make a fortune off the planet. Because if we didn't have any fires, we'd already be carbon neutral. Well, we'd be carbon negative to a great extent and to our benefit. But see, no one's ever going to talk about how much the planet is capable of absorbing in this neutrality conversation. And that really annoys me because it's the same as talking about, turning a light bulb in your room, turning it on. See, all of that light, we need to dampen that amount of light. We're not going to change the bulb though. We're going to make everyone who walks in the room pay a fee because there's too much light. Okay, but if I'm not in the light and I get under the desk in the dark, don't know where the accent came from. If I do that, do I have to pay? I can pay less, right? Because I'm absorbing less of that light energy. That's the same kind of thing. I'm not making it. I didn't do anything. I'm just a hapless consumer. I'm a Meki. I have to buy power to run my computers and everything, right? My appliances and all the things, in the kitchen and throughout the house, and the TV. Charge my phone. So I'm not the one making the power. Why do I have to pay for the carbon? I don't know. It makes no sense. Should push it back to big power. Stuff them. They'll soon find that same graph that I found. Yeah. The end people, us, Meki, we can't complain about it. We haven't got a voice big enough to be heard.
Look, that's the truth. But ultimately, at some point, people will have had enough. We will get to the point, and we're probably going to get there soon. I'll tell you why. because people are suffering now. There's more people now homeless in Queensland, for example, than ever before. There's people with a job, people that have an actual job. They can't afford to rent anymore. So all these price gouging things that are happening, right? And any fees or penalties like carbon levies or whatever or pollution levies, whatever they put on the things that we're eventually going to buy, we're going to pay for. And that's the way they have arranged it, if you will. That's how they have so that it doesn't hit them. The cost doesn't hit them. Same with the
not at all. They're like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, and that's all the big businesses, and that's why we're living in a fascist country, well, maybe fascist world. All the big businesses are making obscene profits. Obscene, not revenue. I mean, I want a business to do well. I'm not a communist, right? I'm not. I'm a socialist at heart. I think people, should help people. I think that's a good thing. Everybody should have healthcare and all that, and be able to live a dignified life. I believe that strongly. But I'm also not a dyed-in-the-wool capitalist. I don't have to have the most when I die to win. We have to find a nice middle ground somewhere, because right now we're in a death spiral, and all the things you've raised there, that they're driving us deeper down the death spiral. Why? Because the people that could stop it don't. Nothing in it for me. What am I stopping it for? And plus, even if things go pot to pot, I'm going to be okay. I'll just buy myself an asteroid or something, whatever, right? And they're not going to be affected by any of this, not really. But they could make a difference. But they have no incentive, none, zero. There's zero incentive for those guys to do anything at all. And so we see these. I mean, I can't even believe that people seriously talk about carbon trading as a thing. It blows me away, Dave. I mean, do you understand what's happening here? No, look at it. And electric cars. The solution to our problem is going to be electric. No. Not until we have clean electricity.
That's exactly right.
And this is what Dave is really talking about here, right?
Yeah.
Clean electricity.
So they're talking... wait, just one quick side note. The shopping cart, we call it a shopping trolley, but a shopping cart full today is about $400 cost. It's ridiculous how much it costs. And the power prices are continuing to rise, and it's now costing more to run your EV from the cost of the electricity that goes into it that you've got to buy from the grid than it is to run a petrol car. That's the base. That's the base math here. And today I watched a news report saying, well, we need to do this, we need to get EVs and ban the internal combustion engine. Hang on a minute, but there's cars that are running on hydrogen now that have zero emission. There isn't any emissions. There aren't. Water. That's it. Yeah, sure, it's an emission, but it's water. And that's perfectly safe. So...
I've heard that water is evil. Evil! Like in
unless you're Nestle, and then we own it all. We want to own it all. It's not a human right to have water. So, in the same sentence as banning internal combustion, you should buy more EVs. The government should put more subsidies on the purchase of them because they're hideously expensive when you come to Australia, because they've got everything shipped here, so we have to pay that cost. And the fact that they're talking about having nuclear power, which won't get stood up for 10 years. There isn't a quick way to get it. We can't make it to the finish line while everyone else will. But when I say everyone else, we're seeing Toyota and Honda now making perfectly viable hydrogen engines. Perfectly viable. Like, it works just fine. It's got all the right things to do the right things. We can make rockets that go into space. We can make a hydrogen engine for a car. Not a problem. And that is the true solution to the emissions problem. And we could even retrofit it, and we could even reduce all the carbon, net new carbon, by 85% by using my favorite fuel, E85. We could do that. And let's make those things happen, because no one can afford, in this crisis, getting a new car.
No, Dave is right. the approach to the problem is completely wrong, and it's only designed to make certain people more money. Okay, that's all. It's just designed to make these people more money. Unless we get clean electricity, EVs are a pipe dream. Once we get clean electricity, then we can talk. Understood. Let's do it. But let's do it the Tesla way, right? But nobody wants to do that either. I mean, Nikola Tesla, not the company. And it's the grotesque arguments that are being had around, the safety and the this and that. We are in a boat that is leaking like a sieve. Water, we're taking on water faster than we can get it out, and nobody is talking about hey, there's the land. I can see the land. If we pedal real hard, we can do something about this. No, we're just trying to fix the leaks in the boat, which is not really going really well at all. Unfortunately, it's just not happening. We're not good at it. And before you know it, the boat is going to sink, and we're in it. No one is talking about what can we do to deal with the new reality, right? Because it's a new reality. You can stand on your head. It's a new reality, and the people are still trying to make money. Who said this? Oh, there was this beautiful quote I saw the other day. I can't remember who said it, but we are going to go down in history as the first civilization that didn't save itself because it wasn't cost effective.
That's right.
And I go, what?
That's beautiful.
It's beautifully put. I do apologize, but I can't remember who said it. But yes, exactly. It's not cost effective. I've worked for many large companies, and you know what the funny thing is? Nobody really wants to fix any problems ever.
No. They
just want to maximize revenue and profit. Okay? And nobody really knows how to do that. Not really, right? So a lot of different things are tried and this and that. And in the end, it all comes down to the same thing. If you can't sell more stuff,
it's the answer, yeah.
You got to get rid of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer. The answer to your problems is a restructure and getting rid of a whole bunch of people. That's the answer. It's always been the answer. Because the other answer, like actually, being good at your job, that's really hard. And that's what's happening all over the world, right? In all the companies. And that's what we're seeing. But it's a death spiral world. We have limited resources. I keep saying this. Limited resources, everybody. Okay? Hello? It's going to get run out one day. We're addicted to electricity. Electricity is key for our civilization. Without electricity, our civilization just stops. It stops. Let's be clear, right? It stops. Okay, right. What do we do to get electricity? Well, we burn a whole bunch of stuff. We burn coal and oil and whatnot, right? We also use others, but it's fractional percentages that we get from other sources. One day, when we can get everything not from coal and not from oil and not from gas, then we can talk about, having EV cars or whatever. Sure, fine. But at that point, it won't even matter. You know why? Because the fuel that's being burned by cars on the road, even if they're increasing their usage, it pales in comparison to what is burned for everything else. The fossil fuel we burn to produce electricity is by far the largest amount of carbon emissions in the world.
Mm-hmm.
By far. You think I'm wrong? Look at the statistics. Not your backyard barbecue, not cows farting, not your car, not your motorbike.
No, that's right.
Not even your private jet. No. It is the fuel that is burned to produce electricity. That's right. And an EV car doesn't do away with that. It doesn't. Because we still need electricity. Right? Mm-hmm. More so, in fact. Not only that, Dave, you know about the batteries and the rare earth minerals and how toxic those things are, right?
Yeah. It's 10,000 tons of materials for one EV.
That's insane. Think about that.
And you know that you're getting them from all around the world. It's not one big mine that just has them all there and you just one truck and one dumpster and blah, blah. And there's people's lives like sulfur. And sulfur is accumulating around the perimeter of volcanoes or volcanic regions, and it's critical that you get it, in its purest form. That's really interesting. So you do that, but then people lose their lives because you can have heavy amounts of carbon dioxide plumes where you just want to go to sleep and you can't help it and you don't wake up. You can have where the sulfur is in the right circumstances, when it mixes with moisture in your lungs when you're breathing it in, you can get sulfur dioxide and you can get sulfuric acid in rain. So it can precipitate in your lungs and turn into that and to basically dissolve you from the inside.
That actually happened in Europe. Acid rain killed a whole bunch of forests back in the 80s.
Yeah, it can do that. Yeah, totally. So with the right conditions. But anyway, it's deadly and we don't care. Lithium is another bad one, and the processing of it is extremely toxic. You've just got to be aware that these rare earth minerals, and even the more common ones we've used for hundreds of years, have lives attached to those, lives lost attached to them. But here we are in our big cities driving our EVs and pleased and smug that we're not polluting anything. All we're really doing is outsourcing the pollution to somewhere we don't see it. That's it. And so it's quite a disappointment. I'm still under the impression, this is my opinion, but I'm under the impression that the whole push for the EVs and Tesla is to get space faring civilizations happening, and it's an elite's tick box. That they've gone, yeah, let's support him to get us off the planet. That's it. We need to promote these EVs because in the same breath as, we need to, the cost of EVs are going up, the cost of electricity is going up, but we need more EVs and we need to get rid of the old vehicles. Who's got the money for that? The only people talking about it are the people with lots of money. I know people that are driving, 30 or even 40-year-old cars as a daily driver because they can't afford to buy a new car. And I'm a car guy, so, some of them are in terrible nick and some are really good nick. Good for them for keeping it alive. But what's disappointing, Mickey, is in the same breath, man, they're talking about how the cost of living is too expensive, but you need to buy a new car. And that's right, the solar that's going on to everyone's roofs is actually having the opposite effect on power pricing. So it's actually making the price go up because any power you make, the power company will raise it by 2.5 points margin. Is that right? 25%?
That sounds about right.
Right. So they raise it by that. So if you want to buy the power off your neighbour's roof, you've got to pay 25% more than buying it from the coal. Hang on a minute, I don't want that. No, I don't want the green power, thank you very much. It's cost too much, I can't afford it. My dad's got a full roof of solar, and he was still, paying $300, I think it's a month or something crazy.
It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, well, you get wrapped into a scam where you make less and less money. So the honeymoon pricing is great for the power you make, and then suddenly you're not making any. And there's no money. Oh, where did all it go? I thought I still had the panels there. They're still there, right? Yeah, they're still there. Yeah, you can't get out of the contract, though. We own them. So
see, this, and again, but nobody's fixing. See, what you just mentioned is an issue of exploitation of the common people. It really is. That's really what it boils down to, right? Where these conglomerates, monopolies, duopolies, I don't care what you call them, right? These power concerns that have all the politicians in their back pocket, all the laws are going their way, everything's going their way, and you have really no recourse. I mean, all of these regulatory organizations, consumer watchdogs, that's all nonsense. It's a complete. I mean, look at the price of the fuel pump. Look at the price in the supermarkets. Look at your utility pricing. Really, we should be like Scandinavia. Australia should be there.
Yeah, totally.
Scandinavia, they've got it figured out. Okay, look, have a look at. I mean, the tax rate is high, like ours, right? And But they've got free education, free healthcare, free transportation, reasonable rates for everything. Right? They look after their people. Okay? The pension is also. They also have a year off when you're a new parent for both the man and the woman.
Oh, wow.
Or whatever your partnership arrangement might be. Whatever.
Yeah.
For both caregivers.
For both partners, yes.
Yeah, correct. Both get a year fully paid.
Huh.
Think about that for a second. And we in Australia, we've decided, no, you know what? No, we don't need it. We just have a job for the boys. It's all mates rates for the mates. Forget everybody else. And it's okay that everybody's completely robbing us blind of our natural resources and then charging us for the pleasure of living here a premium as well, while people that export our stuff make a golden mint, selling our stuff much cheaper than we can buy it in country.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are, and that's the truth of it. Okay, and nobody talks about it because the entire system is built upon it. The two-party system is keeping that alive. They have no interest in changing any of it because they're okay. The two-party system is set up in such a way that it's self-perpetuating as much as possible, and they've pulled the wool over our eyes for far too long. And now, though, we're seeing more independence coming through. I mean, it's still part of the puppet show, but at least the independence could bring a change to the obvious puppet show here, right? To make people's lives better. Because, and we spent how many billions on the submarines? Which we're not going to get for. I mean, really, I come back to it. But
do you know that they haven't even built the facility to build them?
They haven't. I don't think they've passed. I don't know. Maybe they just passed.
They didn't, from what I remember.
They haven't.
No.
See, they haven't even done that. Look, sorry, there was a contention in the States where they hadn't actually passed the bill that would allow them to build those things for us in the States. Believe that?
So our fuel at the moment, the cheapest is $8 a gallon US, and if I tell you that, hang on, just got to copy and paste something. If I told you what it was for the worst pricing, because we're going to have the break any second, times by $2.63, it's almost $10 a gallon. That's why we're complaining.
Yep.
There's the end of the first hour. We'll be back very shortly with the Cosrev Mirror Time Travel and Remote Viewing Part 6.